We're going to make some history together today.
January 2007 and a classic Steve Jobs performance. A simple product launch turned into a major event by a man with a sense of theatre and a charisma rare in the technology world.
Good morning, Starbucks. How can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to order 4,000 lattes to go, please. No, just kidding.
The iPhone was, after all, just a phone, but its success was the latest triumph of a company which showed that good design was essential to good computing. The Apple story started at an amateur computing club, where in the early 70s Steve Jobs met Steve Wozniak, and they were soon working on their first computers. The Apple I looked a simple affair. The Apple II had graphics and eventually a colour screen. It was Wozniak who brought the engineering expertise, but it was Jobs who had the drive to turn Apple into a business.
He wanted a company. He wanted it to be successful. Everything it takes, phone calls and talking to people, finding out what else is going on, getting ads made, all the work that it takes to really just have a company that has a meaning and a vision.
We shall prevail. On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh.
It was in 1984 that Apple really changed the world with the launch of the Mac, the first personal computer to be navigated via a mouse. Steve Jobs' business was becoming more professional, hiring a senior executive from Pepsi to run the firm.
He looked up at me with these very penetrating eyes. He said, "Do you really want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and change the world?"
But the partnership was to be short-lived. As Apple hit choppy waters, John Sculley forced Steve Jobs out of the business he'd founded.
To infinity and beyond!
Away from Apple, Steve Jobs made a very astute investment, buying Pixar, the animation firm which went on to create films